The following show is brought to you by Capital Financial and Insurance. And now it's time for best-selling author Coach Pete.
And welcome to the show, folks. This is the Financial Safari, again, your weekly television show to help you keep more informed about what's going on in your wallet. This week, we're going to talk about annuities. What are good annuities? What are bad annuities? We're also going to talk about the power of a second opinion in the financial world. If you haven't received a second opinion, you really need to. I don't care how good you think your advisor is or isn't, now's a good time to see and get a second opinion and get that in writing. We're also going to talk to New York Times bestseller, Erin Botsford. Again, New York Times bestseller, Erin Botsford, and she's written a book called The Big Retirement Risk. She's going to go over 4 myths that Wall Street wants you to believe. This is a not miss show, folks. Set your DVR or sit down in front of the TV. Welcome to the Financial Safari. Hi, this is Coach Pete.
And hello, I'm Peter Rashan.
And if you've got questions about how to safely and properly allocate your investments, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Financial Safari.
Broadcasting from coast to coast, it's the Financial Safari with your host, Coach Pete D'Arruda. Coach Pete and his guests are some of the nation's top financial professionals. They make it their mission to guide investors through the treacherous jungle of the financial world, showing them how to grow, keep, and leave their money for their loved ones. Coach Pete is a frequent contributor to Fox Business Network, CNBC, The Wall Street Journal, and many other news outlets. They come to Coach Pete for their answers, and now so can you. So stick around and find out how to make it through the jungle of the financial world on the Financial Safari.
Coming up on the Financial Safari, Coach Pete talks to his local trusted advisor about a good time to get a second opinion, followed by a special offer from Coach Pete. And later, Coach Pete talks with author Erin Botsford about the 4 myths Wall Street wants you to believe.
Welcome back to the Financial Safari, that show that tries to make the financial world a little bit easier to understand. And each week we like to talk with Coach Pete and find out some more information about what's happening in the financial world. And you know what, Coach, I have a question for you about the financial red zone, because I think this is extremely important. It's a very important time in somebody's life. First of all, explain for us what the financial red zone is for listeners who may not know.
Well, to me, it's any time you're worried about your money, you're in the red zone mentally, but you want to make sure that your money does what it's supposed to do as you get older. And I define red zone as age 55 and up, and especially if you're within 5 years of retirement or already in retirement, you're in the financial red zone. And that's the time of your life when it's more important about preserving what you've built up than it is trying to grow what you already have, Walt.
So let's explore that a little bit. Why is this time period so critical compared to, let's say, other time periods in your financial life?
Well, I'm 46, and you're, how old are you?
25.
25, man. Well, if I could pay to go back there, I'd go back to 25, but I can't. So here's what it is. At 25, you can afford to take a lot more risks than me at 46.
Right.
Now, if you're a gambler at heart, go to Vegas once or twice a year, take a limited amount of money with you, and go have some fun until you lose the money. But you should not be gambling with money you can't afford to lose. So when you get older, you have less and less days where you can work and want to work. I mean, to me, most people I talk to in their 60s are counting down the days till they don't have to work anymore, and they can take some of that money they've built up and have a good life with it in retirement. And I call retirement 30 or 40 years of unemployment, otherwise known as retirement. Now, retirement's supposed to be a great time. It's not supposed to be the time of your life when you reduce your standard of living. So if you take too much risk in that red zone, the chances are something bad could happen in the market. If you have all your money at risk in the market, or if you invest in real estate, and we've seen the real estate market go up and down, there aren't many sure things out there. But I like to show people 3 different places for your money: the safe money, the risk money, and the in-between money that has lifetime income. And when you understand that, you're all set in the financial red zone.
So for people who are in the financial red zone, what should they be doing right now?
Well, number one, they should be looking at their total situation, and they should ask themselves, are they willing to lose 40% of the money that they have at risk? And if the answer is no, Walt, and everyone has some money they don't want to lose, you need to get a second opinion on your financial situation, or for the first time ever, have a true income plan explained to you that gives you lifetime contractually guaranteed income encompassed in your financial plan. Meet with a planner who specializes in income to and through retirement.
Folks, of course, you can always call us at the Financial Safari to find out more information about what's happening in the financial world and to talk with your local trusted advisor. You can also visit our website as well, financialsafari.com. Stay tuned. There's more coming up on the Financial Safari. We'll be right back after this.
And it's time, like we always do, to check in with our local trusted advisors from all around the country. Here's a great question. When's a good time to get a second opinion financially with your own situation?
Well, there's really no time like the present to get a second opinion on your financial situation. That's always the case. If you had a medical issue and you thought it was serious, certainly you would want to get a second opinion, not because you think your doctor is bad, but just because you want to get a second set of eyeballs on your situation, because everybody has different expertise in different areas. So, for instance, you could have had a financial advisor who's done a great job for you throughout your accumulating life. 30 or 40 years maybe, you've had the same financial advisor who has helped you build wealth toward retirement. Well, once you get close to retirement, you need to shift toward preservation and creating income for retirement. And that's a different skill set. It may be that your accumulation advisor can do that too, but it may be that you need to change to somebody else. And it's not that your previous financial advisor has done a bad job. It's just that everybody has a different specialty. So getting that second opinion can help you understand if what you're doing right now is the best thing for the current stage of life that you're in, or if you need to think about maybe making a change in philosophy.
Well, excellent. So then why are so many people afraid and scared of getting a second opinion financially when it's the most important thing in the world for them?
Well, there's no need to be scared, at least not in our office, not the way we do it. We're going to bring you in and we're going to look at your situation, ask you some questions to help you understand and help us understand what your goals are for your money. A lot of folks come in and they don't really even have a clear understanding themselves of what their goals are. So once we establish that, then we can kind of determine if the things that you're doing and have been doing are the right moves for you to make. So some people will come in for this second opinion and find that everything they've done is great, and we have no advice we can give them other than go home and sleep better at night knowing that you've done the right thing. Now, that's not the majority of people. That's probably less than 10% that have done everything perfectly. There's then another crowd who maybe has some minor tweaks that they need to make, nothing major, but just some advice we can give you here and there to help you do things a little bit better. And then there's still another group of people who really do need to look at a complete overhaul of their financial situation. Maybe they have way too much money in the stock market at risk, too close to retirement. That's a red flag. Maybe you just don't have the right types of financial products for your situation, and you need to have a true strategy, a plan put together for you. So people are really all across the spectrum in terms of where they are when they come in for that second opinion. And it may be that we just send you home after an hour and say, great job, go rest well. In that case, nothing to be scared of. It didn't cost you anything other than an hour of your time to get some peace of mind. But if there are some big changes you need to make, wouldn't you like to know about those and instead of going on in blissful ignorance about your current situation?
Time always goes by so fast here on the Financial Safari, but it doesn't have to end for you. Call the number on your screen, meet with a local trusted advisor today, and we'll visit with you next week on the Financial Safari.
Always glad to be here, Coach. Talk to you again soon.
Hey folks, so glad you're able to visit with us today on the Financial Safari. For more information on how to partner with us to build your very own retirement income plan, as well as get a copy of my newest book, one chapter in it, 7 Financial Baby Steps, visit us right now online at financialsafari.com. See you soon.
Still to come on the Financial Safari, Coach Pete asks his local trusted advisor about annuities. Aaron Botsford visits Coach Pete to talk about the 4 myths Wall Street wants you to believe. And now, Coach Pete has a special offer for you.
So at any time, call the number you see on the bottom of your screen to get a no-cost initial consultation with a local trusted advisor near you to help you inform yourself and your family on what's going on in your portfolio. What's included in this no-cost initial consultation? Well, you get a copy of my newest book when you come in. I'll autograph it for you as well. We're also going to put together an income plan for you, based on what you have put aside right now, what you can look forward to get as a guaranteed lifetime income. There also needs to be some succession planning. What's going to happen if you're not here anymore? What happens if you go to a long-term care facility? Do you have enough money for that? What happens if inflation kicks in? What are you going to do then? This is all covered in initial consultations with our local trusted advisors. Now, folks, you must have already put aside at least $200,000 in some type of retirement accounts or savings for us to be able to put together a plan for you. So if you meet those qualifications, and most people do, call the number at the bottom of your screen and you'll talk to a local trusted advisor as soon as next week to get your plan outlined for you so you can have some security, some confidence, and some knowledge of your financial situation in 2013 and beyond.
Welcome back into the Financial Safari. This is that financial show where we try to make things a little bit easier for you to understand. And Walter Storholt here back with you, as well as Coach Pete in the building. And of course, we invite you to go visit us at financialsafari.com for more answers to your questions. But while you're here with us on the TV show today, Coach, got some questions for you. And we've talked about the financial red zone before. What kinds of mistakes do you see people making in that red zone, which we've described as that couple of years, that 5, 6, 7 years or so before you reach that retirement area and that retirement mark, as well as into retirement?
Well, the number one mistake I see is people don't pay attention to their financial situation when they get to that red zone as much as they should. Now, does it mean you need to stay up and worry every single night and try to write out your financial plan each and every day? No, but it means you need to get with an advisor who specializes in that income planning technique process that we go through when people get into that financial red zone. And again, there's nothing wrong with taking risk, but only after you get some money put aside that you can't lose does taking risk make sense. When you reach the time of your life where you can't go back and make money, or you're getting close to the time where you don't want to keep working. You know, when you get over 65, if you're still working, it should only be because you like to work, not because you have to work.
I've heard you describe some of the strategies that you use with clients, Core and Explore being one of those. That's what you want, but people sometimes don't exactly follow that model.
Yeah, when you think of a triangle, we've all drawn a triangle before. I'm not the best drawer, but you can draw a three-sided triangle.
I struggle with a straight line, but you can tell it's a triangle.
But what's the most stable part of that triangle, Walt? The base.
The base, okay.
I mean,
yes.
right, the bottom part. I mean, the other parts, they won't stand. You can't stand it on its head. I guess the triangle has a head where the points meet. It's not going to stand up.
I understand where you're going now. Okay,
so
yes.
the base, and that's the core. Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
And as you draw the lines up in a triangle, they meet in the middle eventually at the top. And as you see, they get smaller and smaller. The distance between those two lines going up gets smaller and smaller. That should be the amount of risk you take as you get older and older. Less and less risk, firm base, and firm safety and income plan in place.
Yeah,
and
so
if
it's
you
like
think
the
of
financial pyramid, like the old food pyramid.
Well, it is, and unfortunately, the pyramid has got a bad name when some guys decided to market and have a multi-level marketing organization, otherwise known as a pyramid scheme. So now people don't like even mentioning pyramids, and also the food group pyramid. We were told to eat, I don't know how many loaves of bread a day back when we were growing up, or grains and all that. Now they're saying that they may not be as good for you, the grains. And then we were told that milk was good for you, but then a lot of people were saying milk isn't good for you. So, hey, when we're talking about income, though, and retirement planning, the most important part of your financial triangle should be that bottom part. You should build that firmer and firmer, bigger and bigger as you get older, and that part will give you the income all the way through your retirement if you do it right.
Make sure that your base is taken care of and that your triangle, your financial plan, has the necessary support. Folks, we invite you to contact the team from the Financial Safari by picking up the phone and calling, or you can go online as well to financialsafari.com. Stay tuned. There's more Financial Safari on the way.
So here's a good question, and this is one everyone out there, I'm sure, has on their mind. What are annuities?
Coach Pete, annuities are an investment or a savings vehicle with a guaranteed promise of payment. In other words, you can be sure with an annuity that you will have an income stream that will be there for you when you need it. Now, there are different types of annuities for different needs for your income. The most simplistic definition I actually ever heard of an annuity is life insurance in reverse. With life insurance, you pay premium payments your whole life, and when you pass away, someone gets a lump sum. With an annuity, those same insurance companies are able to accept your lump sum and promise for a period of time, or maybe for your entire lifetime, that you will receive a regular income payment for the duration that they have agreed to with you. So you can set these up for 5 years, for 10 years, or for a lifetime or even 2 lifetimes. So the promise of payment that an annuity can offer is pretty unique in the financial world. There is no other financial vehicle that you can rely on an income stream and know with certainty that you will continue receiving that income even after you theoretically have used up all the money that you had put into that investment. Now, there are several types of annuities, so this can be a little confusing, and I kind of liken it to last names of siblings. Just because they're all the same last name of the Jones kids doesn't mean that Chris and Annie and John are all the same person. Likewise, annuities can be very different. A variable annuity is an investment. You can, and if the market goes down, will lose money in a variable annuity. There are some unique features of variable annuities, typically that come at additional fees, that can protect a death benefit or an income benefit, but they are investments, and you do need to realize if you are looking at a variable annuity that there is a risk of loss of principal. The 3 other types of annuities are guaranteed savings vehicles, and they are immediate annuity, and this is for a stream of income. It's like a pension. A fixed annuity, this is for a period certain return over a period of time, kind of like a CD, and the fixed indexed annuity that tries to combine some of the great features of all the other types of annuities. It has preservation of principal, it has the ability to share in the gains of the market in upmarket years, and typically it has the ability to create a guaranteed rate of growth for the purpose of a pension-like income down the road. Right now, we are seeing these as some of the more useful tools for retirement planning because they do have the safety of the principal and the guaranteed rate of growth or increase for your future retirement income. Some of these are up to 7% guaranteed contractually from the company per year compound growth for the purpose of that future income, and can even include some benefits for long-term care if you ever have that happen in the future. So annuities can be great tools, and people really need to find out more or maybe re-educate themselves about annuities, because I find that a lot of folks out there have misconceptions about what annuities really can do or what they really offer.
How can someone who already has an annuity know they have a good one or a bad one?
Well, Coach, that's where we offer that detailed annuity review. And if you have an annuity and would like to find out exactly what type of annuity and what it's achieving for you, and if it's the best annuity that's available to you, give a call to the number on your screen, and we will do that detailed forensic financial analysis on your annuity for you and find out if it's the best thing possible that you could have in your retirement portfolio. We'll also offer today this guide of the Annuity Owner's Manual, how to position an annuity properly in a retirement income portfolio. This is a great guide that I think will be of value to anyone who owns an annuity or is considering an annuity purchase. Again, some annuities today have excellent rates of growth on a contractually guaranteed basis, up to 7% per year compound annually for the purpose of future retirement income. And these can be liquid, accessible, you can have flexibility and many options. You need to find out what today's annuities can offer. Again, I think a lot of people have misconceptions or don't understand the proper role of an annuity in a retirement income portfolio. And they need to be more aware of that, and especially if you already own an annuity, you need to find out if it's the best annuity for you. So again, call the number that you see on your screen, and we'd be happy to sit down with you and perform that detailed forensic financial analysis to find out if you have the right annuity for your situation.
Fantastic. And thanks again for answering our questions this week. And as always, we look forward to visiting with you next week.
Well, Coach, it's always a pleasure to be here on the Financial Safari with you and the viewers. Thank you for having me.
Talk to one of our local experts, and we have a special offer for you on today's show. Call in the next 30 minutes. We're going to custom design for an easy-to-understand financial review that will indicate if you're in need of a full-blown financial plan. There's no obligation or cost for this initial review for all callers who have at least $200,000 saved for retirement. If you meet those qualifications, here's what you can expect. First, we'll run a fee report to help you untangle what it's costing you to work with your current planner or advisor. We'll show you how to protect your investments and keep more of your money in your accounts. Next, we'll perform a tax analysis to show you how you could possibly be reducing your taxes and increase your cash flow. And finally, we'll create a customized lifetime income plan using proven strategies and techniques that could turbocharge your retirement income. In short, we'll take the guesswork out of financial planning for you. So, for all callers who call in the next 30 minutes, a comprehensive financial review that we're offering with no obligation. Just call the number below right now. Coming up, Coach Pete talks with author Aaron Botsford about the 4 myths Wall Street wants you to believe. And a special message from Coach Pete.
It is now time for Pete on the Street.
Pete on the street.
Let's see what this person has to say.
Pete on the street.
Pete on the street. And today I'm talking to Al, and I'm going to ask Al a couple questions. Al, what do you think about, what's your opinion on retirement?
I like it.
Well, why do you like it?
Because I earned it, and because I get to be with my lovely wife here, and because we get to do a lot of traveling, and it's really nice.
So in retirement, to make retirement more comfortable, we need money. And is it important to you to make sure that some of your money is in a safe place now that you're in retirement?
Yes, I'm rather conservative in the investments. I prefer safety over taking big risks and potentially large returns because there's a downside to that.
Have you ever been lied to before in the financial world?
Oh, yes. One guy about 4 years ago, he was promising us like 16% returns after taxes and stuff like that, and we went back and analyzed that, and it just didn't add up.
Yeah. If it's too good to be true, it usually is.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
Pete on the street.
And welcome back in, folks. This week we have a very special author to talk to. Her name is Erin Botsford, and she's joining us from Dallas, Texas. She's author of the book, The Big Retirement Risk. And Erin, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me, Coach.
Now let's talk about first of all, like when I have authors on, I like to talk about what caused you to write the book to begin with. I mean, because I've written books, and it's not something you just sit down in one night and knock something out. It takes some motivation, and it also, you have to be inspired by something. What inspired you to write the book?
Well, I have been in this business for 25 years of helping people manage their money, and I figured out some things that work and they didn't work, and I was very fortunate. The way we manage money worked during the financial crisis, and so our clients were not hurt at all during the financial crisis. And when I realized that there was a lot of people who really weren't prepared for a downturn like we saw, I decided that, instead of just having saved 350 or 400 clients from financial ruin, I would just write a book. So now I'm on a mission to save the retirements of 77 million people.
Yeah, that's a lot of people, and more and more people every day. I see the subtitle of your book is Running Out of Money Before You Run Out of Time, and that's a big risk, isn't it?
It sure is, and we have just seen, even in my own family, people who have made, bad moves, and they literally, I have a brother that, he ran out of money, and he's still alive, so it's really unfortunate.
That's not a situation anyone wants to find themselves in, yet many people, Erin, out there, they're not doing anything to be proactive about the situation.
No, they're not. And I think a lot of it is they think that it's beyond them or it's too complicated. And I really wrote my book for the average reader. I always tell people that I explain all my concepts in fifth-grade language. My book is a 2-hour and 15-minute read if you're a slow reader. I wanted to make things very simple and very direct.
As an investment advisor, we're taught to have everything out there for the client and make sure that when we put a plan together to them, it is working for them exclusively and not for us. But, Erin, a lot of times I find myself asking, whose retirement are people funding, their brokers or their own?
Yeah, I hear you on that. And I really think that's one of the reasons I wrote the book was I feel like we need to be able to empower people to take responsibility for their own outcomes. I always say nobody cares more about your money than you do, and you shouldn't be trusting anybody else to care about your money more than you do.
There's a powerful, powerful marketing organization, and we call it Wall Street just to be generic. But in your book, you point to 4 myths that Wall Street wants you to believe, you meaning everyone out there listening. Aaron, can you go over those myths and why it's important for the listeners to understand these myths right now?
Right. Well, I couldn't have said it better. A marketing machine that's out there, and they like us to just throw dollars at it and, see what sticks. And I just don't like that formula. So the myths that I identify are, one, they always tell us that long term the financial markets, the stock market's always going to go up. And I always say, really? There's been periods of 17 to 25 years where the market stayed flat or went down. So, it really, unfortunately, it depends on when you retire. And if you happen to retire right before those periods, you could easily run out of money. So that's one of the myths. Just keep investing for the long term. It'll go up. The second one is, that diversification and asset allocation, those are the keys to a successful retirement. Well, that's not always the case. And also, the one who has the most marketing dollars, we should place our money and our trust in the people who you see the most ads, the big behemoth financial services firm. And unfortunately, I found those places to be probably the least likely place that you should have your money. And then the last one is that your net worth somehow determines your success in retirement. That also is a big myth that people need to get over.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Folks, again, she's joined us from Dallas, Texas. Her name is Erin Botsford. She's author of a fantastic book, The Big Retirement Risk, Running Out of Money Before You Run Out of Time. We're going to post a full copy of this interview on our website, financialsafari.com, just in case you joined us late or you want to revisit it again. And we'll also post a picture of Erin's book so you can look at it, and you can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the big places. Again, Erin, thanks for your time today on the Financial Safari.
Thanks so much for having me.
And folks, we'll be right back after this. So this has been a great show today. I don't know where the time went by, but it's gone. So call the number on the bottom of your screen, meet with a local trusted advisor if you'd like to just find out what's going on in your financial situation. Folks, you have nothing to lose but to call the number on the bottom of your screen, and we'll see you next week on the Financial Safari.
Information provided is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute investment, tax, or legal advice. Information has been obtained from sources that are deemed to be reliable, but their accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed. Neither Peter J. D'Arruda or his guests are liable for the usage of information discussed. Always consult with a qualified investment, legal, or tax professional before taking any action. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Individuals should thoroughly review the contract for specific details of the product features and costs. Income payments and withdrawals from deferred annuities are generally taxable as ordinary income in the year they are taken.